Cable Bahamas has been and continues to be a positive shot in the arm for our summer camps. We look forward to it. Without Cable Bahamas, I don't know if we will succeed because we look forward to the funding and we are very appreciative, particularly the Cable Cares program. We are very appreciative to what they do.
We thank the Cable Cares Foundation, which would have given into this program, and it's going to pay dividends in the long run because each one of these children are affected.
Well, Cable Bahamas Foundation has helped us in a huge way. We are out there looking for all kind of help, and I am so happy that the Cable Foundation didn't decline us based on the economy and what is going on today.
So they've been with us for a long time, and we look for them to be with us for many years to come.
Good evening, Bahamas. You're tuned into NB12 Weekend, broadcasting from Cable 12 Studios on Robinson Road. Coming up tonight in news, an outspoken religious leader commends police officers for cracking down on criminals. Forecasters keeping a close eye on Tropical Storm Danny, how recent events involving Cuban nationals at the detention center have affected diplomatic relations between the Bahamas and Cuba, and a master saxophonist shares his skill with youngsters. Plus, we count down the top quotes in news this week. I'm Paige McCartney. We've got those stories and more straight ahead on NB12 Weekend. Welcome once again to NB12 Weekend. Amid mounting concerns over the number of police-involved shootings in recent days, Assistant Commissioner of Police Stephen Dean is defending officers whom he says face violent criminals on a daily basis. Police killed 4 suspects during a 5-day period. The most recent suspect was gunned down in the front of a graveyard minutes after he opened fire on police and hours after he allegedly committed 3 separate armed robberies in the Carmichael Road area. He was also allegedly linked to 29 armed robberies. Dean says criminals are becoming more aggressive and police are not afraid to do their jobs.
But we will arrest you. We will fine you. The police, no fear for anyone. There's no place in the Bahamas that the police cannot go. Police can go anywhere, arrest people, and respond to citizens' complaints.
With this year's murder count nearing triple digits and armed robberies reported almost daily, the Assistant Commissioner of Police also highlighted efforts by the Royal Bahamas Police Force to reduce violent crime.
So we tell people that police are monitoring these sites and that if we see crimes being committed, if we see people exposing firearm, we believe you have a firearm and we'll pursue you, we will arrest you. We could fine you. If you go up on Facebook, the police will fine you.
According to police statistics, police have seized more than 250 illegal firearms and more than 5,200 rounds of ammunition so far this year. While a prominent pastor is also defending police officers tonight, Bishop Simeon Hall said while there's always a concern when there's a loss of life, police have to do their jobs, and that's protecting the public and themselves.
That's a difficult one, very difficult, because I am on the side of the police. If I were a policeman and somebody draws a gun on me, I am obligated for the longevity of being the head of my family. I'm going to protect myself. And so the police, I understand. I pray they wouldn't become trigger happy, but where their lives are in danger, I think, you got to fight these criminals.
Hall said he understands the need for force when officers are dealing with hardened criminals, but he also hopes police don't abuse the power.
Policemen are not the policeman, the judge, the court, the jury, and all that. I would pray we wouldn't come. But at the same time, I understand that policemen are tired of these people too. Policemen are tired of these people. So the court, and as they said last week, one of them had on an ankle bracelet and shooting at the police. What is the police going to do? Were I a policeman, I'd take him out too.
Hall also insisted that the aggression police use is sometimes warranted.
Some criminals seem to be impervious to all that the church, Kiwanis, all these different agencies have done. And secondly, I believe that our society has produced some persons who do not deserve to be among civilized persons. And so if we're not going to hang them, we should put them away for life.
Meantime, police on Grand Bahama are investigating the shooting death of a man whose body was found in the parking lot of an apartment complex in the Sunken Treasure Drive area last night. Residents reported hearing gunshots being fired at around 10 p.m. When police arrived on the scene, they found the man's body in the parking lot. He had multiple gunshot wounds. In other news tonight, forecasters are keeping a close eye on Tropical Storm Danny, which became the first major storm of the 2015 Atlantic hurricane season. At last report, Danny was slowly moving northwest-north at 12 miles per hour and had weakened from a Category 3 storm to a tropical storm. Meteorologist Wayne Neely says at this point, Danny is not a direct threat to the Bahamas, but that doesn't mean residents shouldn't be prepared for bad weather.
The good news about Danny is that Danny is anticipated to go into unfavorable environment. First of all, they forecast an increase of wind shear, which tend to share the system apart. So it will definitely weaken. It's also running into area of dry air. Dry air is being entrained into the system, and that's going to inhibit the development of the storm any significant. They don't anticipate any further strengthening, but I think Bahamians should definitely continue to monitor the storm, see the outcome. The models take it just sort of in Agua, the current forecast model, but we definitely, the Saudis and Central Bahamas is definitely in the cone of uncertainty.
Neely says the Bahamas can feel the effects of Danny as early as Wednesday if it maintains its current course. He said weather could be severe in certain areas.
Severe thunderstorms, and that also we can get some strong winds and rough seas, and definitely those are things that we watching from the system, and hopefully, like I said, hopefully the system weakens a bit once it goes into this unfavorable environment, and it would basically bear well for us here in the Bahamas. It looks like we might dodge a bullet with the storm, but it's too early to tell.
With only 4 named storms halfway through the 2015 hurricane season, Neely said the season's activity is significantly below average. Here's why.
First of all, there's the presence of what you call a moderate El Nino. That's basically going to inhibit the development of the system. In fact, it did a tremendous job from June until now. But this is the peak of the hurricane season. This is when you start to get the majority of hurricanes forming in the North Atlantic, because at this time, the seas are warmer, the winds in the upper atmosphere is conducive for development. There's basically light winds in the upper atmosphere. And we're not finished with there's another system that we're watching in the back of Danny, and the National Hurricane Center is giving that a 10% chance of forming into some system within 5 days.
And the relationship between the Bahamas and Cuba has remained strong despite controversy surrounding the alleged abuse of Cuban detainees at the Carmichael Road Detention Center. Jasmine Brown reports.
Guzman insists it's an issue that continues to persist, but he insists both governments are continuing to work on it.
I think that we have been also working together with the Bahamas. Their main criticism comes from the issue of the illegal migrants, the Cuban illegal migrants that come to the Bahamas, that they really don't come to the Bahamas. They are traveling to the U.S. and they pass through the Bahamas. In that regard, we have been working with the Bahamian government very closely.
Claims of abuse of Cuban migrants at the detention center have persisted for years. It came to a head in 2013 after several migrants claimed they were beaten at the Carmichael Road Detention Center by 5 Marines stationed there at the time. The Marines have declined the allegations. However, the incident sparked a special hearing by the Attorney General's office that has been ongoing since 2013. Guzman says the issues often center on illegal immigration. He says Cuba is working internally on the illegal immigration issue.
The objective is a common objective. Cuba doesn't want illegal migration, neither the Bahamas. So we have been working together to try to avoid this. We have been working together to create a legal flow of migrations from Cuba to the Bahamas, and also from the Bahamas to Cuba, because a lot of Bahamians travel to Cuba every year, every day or every week for many reasons, and a lot of Cubans travel to the Bahamas every day, every week for many reasons. we have a large Cuban community living in the Bahamas. So the objective is clear: is to work to create a legal flow of a back and forth exchange of people.
He adds that from where he sits, it's one of the many issues both governments will continue to work on in the future. Reporting for NB12, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Stay with us when we return. Police cracking down on cyber crimes. Plus, we count down the top quotes from newsmakers this week. Stay with us.